Well, hello, and we're down at the Claremont Hotel talking to a national treasure. Almost. He said before we started, which I thought was brilliant. A gentleman, Michael Sandle, who has been on the Isle of Man many a time, but I think you were brought up here, really, weren't you?
I was brought up here, yeah, because a bit of luck, incredible bit of luck, actually. My father was in the Royal Navy, and he was stationed in HMS Valkyrie.
Up on Douglas Head?
The requisition hotels,
the hotel
painted battleship grey.
Right.
And then he taught, I think, radio and radar to naval ratings up
on the head.
there, yes.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of luck, incredible bit of luck, because we were living in Plymouth, which was bombed more than anywhere else. I was 5 in 1942, and I can remember that as if it's yesterday. And then we had the amazing good luck to come over here, and the Germans dropped 2 bombs and killed a frog, and I mean the amphibian sort, not a Frenchman.
I thought it was a cow, but anyway.
No, it was a frog.
It was a frog, well, there you go. Now look, we've got these 6 beautiful stamps from Isle of Man Post. Right. I've got some blow-ups for you. Right. First of all, to anyone who walks on the promenade, we've got a shot of you outside. Let me put it here next to you, because this is just an awesome piece of work on Douglas Promenade. The sculpture there for...
Most difficult piece I've ever done. I almost rang up and said I can't do it. I had a lot of trouble with the guy with his back to the onlooker, because he was either looked like a child or a giant. I couldn't get it right. But
perspective is everything on this, isn't it?
Well, it's all force. It has to be to get it onto the get it onto the panel. It had to be forced to get them all on the boat. I did a lot of homework. It was the sort of boat that they would have used at the time.
Of course, this is to commemorate Sir William Hillary, right, and the beginning of the Honour Line.
And when he's rescuing a paddle ship, I think it was called the St. George, and he got them all off. He managed to rescue all the crew.
We just had a look at it. What do you think? Does it need a bit of a polish?
I think it could be waxed from time to time. But I mean, it's going to weather anyway.
Beautiful work there. So you're really pleased with that?
I'm very pleased with it. Yeah. And I'm pleased
How long
with
did it
that
take?
stamp.
Yeah, the stamp is awesome.
Yeah.
How long did it take to make the sculpture?
I think I worked on about a year.
Wow.
And it's the very hardest thing I've ever done, frankly.
Let's go to Malta.
Yeah.
This is another thing you're very proud of. I know.
I'm extremely proud of that.
And the stamp there is number 2 along.
Right.
Just hold the picture up. There we go. We'll cut away to the bigger picture. Tell us about this one.
Well, I was, it's one of these strange things that happen in life. My very first teaching job, it was in Leicester, and I used to go to a pub, and I met this guy, slightly older than me, and I know he's called John, and we sort of go for a drink occasionally. And must be nearly 30 years later, I got a letter from him, and he said there's a new Veterans Association set up, and I am him. Called John Wayne, believe it or not.
John Wayne.
John Wayne was the president of the Mercantile Marine Branch, and they wanted a memorial to Operation Pedestal, which was the code name for the convoy that saved Malta, because they're running out of food and running out of fuel, and if it hadn't been for the convoy that saved them, they would have had to surrender. It's a very, very crucial event in the Second World War.
So you did what exactly?
Well, they took me to Malta, and they said, we want you to do a memorial here or there. And I said no, rubbish. I chose that site,
right.
which is
gorgeous.
It's a former gun emplacement.
Yeah.
So it's got wonderful lines of sight, and you can look down at it, and you can look up from the inside the Grand Harbour. And I fell in love with Malta, and they said to them, you can have a sculpture up there. And I thought, right, yeah, 50,000. Then I said, no, it has to be architecture, okay? 500,000. This cost several million.
And how long did that take?
And I designed all of it.
So that's all your
all
work?
mine.
All right, I thought...
The architecture's mine, that sculpture's mine. Right. I chose the site, and I designed the type of bell that hangs in there. It's based on the most famous bell in Christendom. It's called the Maria Gloriosa, which is 500 years old and hangs in Erfurt Cathedral. It tolled when Martin Luther was consecrated as a priest. So it's the same shape.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound as good, but it still rings every midday.
How long did that all take? Do you do it in situ or do you ship it out?
That took me 4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
Do you ship it out or did you go out to Malta for that to do it?
I had to go back to Malta many times.
Right.
The thing is, I made a model of that.
Yeah.
And they built that architecture from the model.
Okay.
And they altered it slightly, but the thing is that I didn't realise that the Maltese are split to Anglophiles and Italophiles, and I don't think they like each other all that much. And the guy who was a ADC to the president at the time tried to scupper it. They didn't want it. Right? There's a lot of trouble about that. I had serious trouble with them.
Wow.
Anyway, it got done.
It got done.
And you know what? I never charged them for it. All I did, took 4 years to do. I charged them 10,000 quid a year, 40,000, which is actually nothing.
Nothing for that, no.
However, I think I'm most proud of.
Lots more stamps here, but I just want to move on because there's to this one here in the Isle of Man.
Right.
The Viking, it's called?
Yes.
Where's this?
It's outside, it's on a door of a deconcentrated neo-Gothic church, which is now an art centre in Port Erin.
Port Erin?
Yep.
Okay.
And so David Wilson said, we want a sculpture of yours, and he pointed to a place outside this bricked up door. I said, no way am I doing that. I'm going to do the door, right? And the door has turned that church into a cathedral. It really looks fantastic. It's one of the best works I've ever done in public art because it enhances the building, right? And I like this a lot. And I was going to have an older Viking, but it's not how these things change as you get, it just changes. And I also carved it in a solid polyurethane foam. I'm going to work on it with clay. And I thought, actually, it's got a freshness like that. It may not be completely anatomically correct, but it's got a freshness. Yeah. And I kept it. And I knew that had to go in, the Lockton sheep. I think it's a very successful piece, I say so myself, of public art, because it does what it's supposed to do. It enhances the building, because a lot of stuff, there's one along the, better not say that, copulating spiders.
Look, how do you feel about being immortalised like this with Isle of Man stamps?
I'm absolutely thrilled to pieces, and they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
They really have. No, I'm thrilled to pieces with them.
I've got to ask you, how do you want to be remembered?
Me?
Yeah, I mean, you've got all this work around the world.
That'll be there long after I'm gone.
Malta?
And it's now
and the prom?
It's now a national monument.
Okay.
So that means they'll look after it.
Do go on to ironstand.com and check these out. And thanks very much for talking to us.
Okay.